For many, they're the corporate face of climate change. But big oil is joining forces with other titans of American business to push for action to fight global warming.
I am encouraged by the direction that the narrative is going.
Their message: change happens much faster in the business world than the corridors of power in Washington.
No matter how many companies show up on the Hill today, no matter how many of us are active, until we engage the entire market, we're not going to be able to move with the kind of speed that this crisis now requires.
Carbon pricing, or charging businesses for the CO2 they pump into the atmosphere, is not a new idea. Supporters say it creates powerful market forces that incentivize companies to reduce their carbon footprint. According to NGO Global Witness, big oil will spend $5 trillion over the next decade, much of it devoted to new oil production. Even with that massive a carbon footprint, many of the CEOs say they need to work with the energy sector, not isolate it.
For me, that's when the world starts to tip, is when you've got all of these companies coming together and saying, yeah, it's time to take some real action here. So I'm incredibly encouraged by the companies that are on that list that's in front of you.
For climate change activists, carbon pricing in the US could be part of a wider solution, but it's not a silver bullet.
You need a global bullet. And that means every nation in the world, every government would have to enact something like this. So for the United States to do it is critical. It would be a great act of leadership, and I'm sure others would follow. But it isn't sufficient because it has to be a global effort.
But an ambitious plan for carbon pricing is highly unlikely to make it through the US Congress, at least for now. Last year, Republicans in the House of Representatives pushed through a resolution condemning carbon taxes as detrimental to the US economy. They lost the House in last year's midterm elections, but Republicans still control the US Senate and the White House. Giles, Gibson, CGTN, Washington.